Hey, what's going on, guys? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you may be in the world. First I want to apologize. I know I put out a post earlier to join me at 4. I wasn't able to get on at 4, so I wanted to jump on here real quick and cover tip number 3 in this series, 5 tips to help you get the most out of your advertising. So as always, guys, if this is our first time meeting, I'm your host, Daniel Carmack. As you are jumping on, make sure you let me know where you're coming in from so I can give you a shout out. If you were watching this on the replay, make sure you drop a hashtag replay down in the comments so I can come back in and give you a shout out later on. So we're going over, this series, if this is your first time tuning in, this series is covering 5 tips to help you get the most out of your advertising. I know when it comes to advertising, business owners, entrepreneurs, if you're in network marketing or affiliate marketing, whatever industry it is that you're in, I know that sometimes it can get frustrating. So I just wanted to share these things with you, things that have helped me in my business, and just keep me on the cutting edge of what's going on in different aspects of advertising. So I hope everyone is enjoying your weekend. I know there's a lot of festivities here on Long Island in preparation for winter. We're out enjoying. We're sitting out back now, just kind of relaxing. We don't have many more of these days as winter is fastly approaching. So we definitely got to make sure and get out and enjoy as much as we can, as often as we can. So I would encourage you guys to do the same. Get out, do some stuff, live life, have some fun. And that's what we're doing all this for, right? So guys, I really wanted to spend some time on this tip number 3. Because I'm an analytical kind of guy. I like being able to crunch numbers and understand data points and things like that. That may not be your deal. However, if you are running ads, and again, remember, guys, most of this, everything that I'm talking about is geared toward Facebook ads, but it'll work on any platform you're using. If you're running ads on LinkedIn or Twitter or Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest, whatever it is that you're doing, these tips will help you no matter what. When it comes to this tip, so tip number 3, guys, is knowing your metrics. Okay, and the attractionmarketing.com program, they do a very good job of teaching and illustrating certain key points to strive for in your marketing and your advertising. And in the beginning, it's a little hard to understand. It's a little overwhelming. So I wanted to make sure to spend a little more time on this tip to try to give you as much value and help you understand as much as possible about this piece, because this is really where you can watch your dollars work for you, or this is where you can really watch your dollars just go down the drain. So you want to make sure that you understand the metrics. I want to make sure that you understand, like ideal points that you want to be at. And again, guys, this is, this process of knowing your metrics is, it's not set in stone per se, 100%. It has to be this or it has to be that. It's really just guidelines on how to. I get the garage light keeps coming on, so all of a sudden it looks like the sun's rising. So I hope it looks good. So, but it, these are just guide points. It's not set in stone. If one is, better than the benchmarks and one is, not as good, that's okay. It's not, concrete, like it has to be this. This is just a way to kind of guide you. And if you're vastly off, then okay, now we need to make some changes, and then understanding the pieces that affect what, and so let's get into it, guys. So knowing your metrics, and again, we're talking about Facebook ads. When you go to your ads manager, now if you've boosted posts, you you may or may not have experienced this, selecting your audience and things like that. But when you're running, when you're using the ads manager through Facebook, the great thing is that it does all of the analytics for you. It breaks everything down and it just spits out numbers. So understanding what those numbers mean is very important to your business. So that way you're not wasting money and just throwing it down the drain, right? So I'm going to talk about, I got my notes here because I want to make sure that I don't forget anything. So when you're running your ads, guys, okay, ideally you want to run it to your demographic, your target audience, and you want to let it run until you have reached a 3,000 reach criteria. Okay, so run your ad depending on your budget, right? Last night we talked about having an ad budget. So it really just all depends how long it's going to take you to reach that 3,000, depending on quite a few different variables: your audience size, your demographic, who you're targeting, your ad budget, how much you're spending on those ads. One thing that some of the mentors in attractionmarketing.com, and I do it myself, is when we start a new ad, we'll run it at a higher daily per day spend to reach that 3,000 mark faster. So that way we can make a determination if everything that we have in place, if our headline, if our image, if our copy, whatever. So that way we get to that 3,000 sooner, and then depending on how good it's doing, we keep it there or we'll dial it back. If it's meeting the benchmarks and we're like, okay, it's working, it's a good ad, then dial it back some. That's just preference. So run your ad till you reach 3,000, 3,000 on your reach. Okay. As you're going through now, when you look on the ads manager, guys, there's just tons of information. It's gonna default to performance. All right. On the right-hand side, there'll be a drop-down box. You can click it and drop it down. You're going to want to change that to performance and clicks, okay? And then that's going to give you a little different setup of information to look at, all right? Now, it looks like I'm sitting in the dark. So once you have once you've got that 3,000, or you don't need to wait till you get to the 3,000, but that's where you want to really do your analysis on the ad, right? You're going to want a click-through rate. Once you change that, I'm sorry guys, I'm getting all spun up. This lighting is throwing me off. So once you open up your ads manager, you're going to change the performance default to performance and clicks, and then you're going to want to look at the first 4 sections. That's going to be your leads. That's going to be your frequency. That's going to be your hold on one second. Let me look here. So results, reach, frequency, and cost per lead. Okay. And then you're going to want to pay attention to columns 10 through 12. All right. That is going to be your clicks, your cost per click, and your conversion, all right, your CTR, your click-through rate. When you're looking at your CTR, ideally you're going to want to be around a 2%. Anything higher than 2% is phenomenal. If you're at like 1.8, 1.9, don't panic. That's okay too. 2 of the ads I have running right now are sitting at 1.9, 1.89, and I'm not worried. I'm not panicking. I'm still generating leads, sales, things like that. So, that's okay. You just want to be, now if you're at like 0.6, okay, that's definitely a red flag that we need to make some adjustments. If you're at a 4 point, I've had some ads run that were, 4.2, 4.5, and that's great in the beginning, but over time you'll notice that it'll start to kind of level out. And the reason for that, guys, is the Facebook algorithm. When you start a new ad, Facebook is sending that ad type to the type of people that are most likely to engage in whatever type of ad it is that you're doing. If it's a likes campaign, if it's a click the website ad, if it's a conversion to sales ad, Facebook knows those people's habits. Kind of scary, right? But it knows their habits, and so it's going to lead there. So in the beginning, it's kind of going to the low hanging fruit, if you will, like, the people. So you're going to see your click-through rate and stuff like that is going to be lower or higher, and your cost per lead is going to be lower in the beginning, and then it will, like I said, it'll kind of balance out. When you are, when you're running your likes campaign, and remember, we talked about, different types of deals. So specifically to your likes, the 2% click-through rates just kind of across all of any type of ad that you're doing. When you are running a likes campaign, you want your cost per click to be around 50 cents. It may be a little higher, it may be a little lower. As the longer that it's running, I personally, I was very solid at that 50, 55 cent mark. And then progressively as that particular campaign ran longer, my costs went up. So then I had to make some adjustments, right? And then when you're posting ads, you want to make sure that your relevance score. Now, Facebook done this, I don't know what you would call it, like quality check change not too long ago. Some have seen the update, some have not. So if you find a relevance score on your Facebook manager, ads manager, you want to have an 8 or higher. Okay, and what that is telling you is that the quality of your work, your audience finds it valuable, right? So you want to make sure that it's 8 or higher. 7 isn't bad, all right? But if you're below 7, then we need to make some adjustments. We need to look at what it is that they're seeing and how it's affecting your ad, all right? Now, if you are seeing the change, Facebook takes that relevancy score and it breaks it down into 3 categories. So it's quality, engagement, and conversion. All right. So, and that is then built on it's average, below average, or above average. And then if you're in the below average, it'll give you, bottom 8%. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to get this lighting here. I don't know what's going on. But let's roll with it anyway. Right. So, and you're going to be, if you're below average, it'll tell you, you're in 30 to 35%, 20%, so on and so forth. So just look at how those are balancing out and see what it is that, where you can make those tweaks. And each, obviously each piece, part of that conversion or those quality marks will be a different part of your ad that you need to tweak. When you look at your number of clicks for your website or wherever your destination is, your leads divided by the amount of clicks, right, will give you your lead to click ratio, and you want that around 15%. So 15% of the people that actually click on your link, you want them to, become a lead. All right. So just another, tip, a piece there. Now, in the beginning, or just a few minutes ago, I was talking about the first 4 columns of your ads manager and the frequency. The frequency you want to keep around 1. Somewhere really between 1. If it's more than, so what that's telling you, what your frequency score is how many times the same people are seeing your ad, right? So you don't want it to be, super high, 2, 3, 4, because then that's just the same people seeing your ad, and they're not moving, they're not converting into, what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So I'm sorry, guys. Well, I don't know why this thing is, why we're blacked out here. Let's see if I can move this around just a little bit and lighten it up just a little. Maybe I should have tried to get out a little earlier, right? Okay, well, we're almost done, so we'll wrap this up here soon. So ideally you want it to be 1, okay, 1.1, 1.2, and then that's just letting you know that people are seeing your ad one time. That means you're getting out in front of more people, and then that also plays into your reach. If you're being if you're trying to get to 3,000, and man, we really got the world working against us today, guys. We got airplanes flying over, the screen's blacking out on me, but we're gonna get through this. Don't worry. All right. So when you you want to make sure that your frequency is sitting right around 1. Okay. And then you also be able to track, all of the analytics, and there's so much more you can get into. Those are just some key points of knowing your metrics that I want to talk about. Your click-through rate, we want that around 2. Your cost per click for a likes campaign, you want it around 50 cents. Your cost per lead when you're running a conversion, you want that around $5. And in the beginning, your cost per acquisition, meaning how much money you have to spend to get a sale, you want to be less than 100. And I know that sounds astronomical. You're like, I'm gonna spend $100 to get somebody to buy a product. But it's not that simple. There's different things that go into it. But if you can, especially in the beginning, if you can get your cost per acquisition between $75 and $100, then you're doing well. So that is going to be it. If any of this was confusing, or if you have more questions, guys, drop me a comment, shoot me a message, let me know. We'll sit down and we can go through it. We can jump on a Zoom call and I can share screens and we can discuss it, whatever works for you. All right. So as the sun is setting, literally, and I'm going into blackout mode here, right? We are going to wrap this up. Tomorrow, I'm going to jump on. I have a piece that I'm really excited to bring to you guys, and it's more geared toward getting your wheels spinning, getting you thinking about different things. So I'm super excited. So tomorrow I will be on, and we will wrap this series up for tip number 4 with tip number 4 and 5. And then that way on Monday, or maybe even later tomorrow, I can get this new piece I've been working on out. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. If you need anything, I'm no further than a message away. Shoot me a line. Let me know how I can help. As always, guys, thank you. Take care. Be safe. Live life. And remember, we create our own freedom. Bye for now.